Pokemon?
Gardevoir's emo cousin is here. For the longest time I never gave Gothitelle a single chance. I hated it. But now after giving it a proper go, I can safely put it in the top 100. It doesn't take a genius to notice that Gothitelle is based on goth culture, specifically gothic Lolita style clothing. I think it works. Gothitelle is a special attacker with decent special defense and physical defense. It can learn a myriad of moves, such as Psychic, Energy Ball, Dark Pulse, as well as the newly introduced Expanding Force, meaning it combos well with DD and doubles. What actually causes this newly found liking for Gothitelle is using it in my most recent playthrough of Pokemon Black out of curiosity. It saved me from many losses, and with that I am grateful. I even prefer it over Ryu Nicholas, its white version counterpart.
Who's that Pokemon?
Mono Normal type isn't a typing that has many good Pokemon. They all just kind of exist. Yet here is Slacking, the signature Pokemon of Norman and the physically strongest non-legendary. Yep, this thing. Take one look at Slacking and you wouldn't think much of him. Slacking's base stat total is almost 700, with his attack stat reaching the total of 460. That is freaking crazy. However, there is one huge, and I mean huge, downside. His ability is Truant, which means every other turn Slacking will do absolutely nothing. However, abilities like Neutralizing Gas, or moves like Gastro Acid in doubles, totally get rid of Truant, and Slacking can destroy the enemy team with ease. Slacking's design uses aspects of both apes and sloths, and kind of reminds me of Bigfoot. This Pokemon may be slacking, but I can assure you it definitely isn't lacking.
Who's that Pokemon?
Another normal type from the Hoenn region. Zangoose is a beast, but unlike Slacking, its stats aren't uber powerful. Zangoose is pretty balanced, with its best stats being attack and speed. Zangoose can learn Sword Stance and a surprisingly deep amount of moves for a normal type that doesn't evolve. Shadow Claw, Aerial Ace, X-Scissor, Crush Claw, and Close Combat, just to name a few. Its ability immunity also means it can't be poisoned, which links to his rivalry with Seviper, which mirrors real-world mongooses and snakes. Unfortunately for Seviper, it isn't nearly as cool as Zangoose. For a normal type, Zangoose is as fierce as they come in terms of looks. In fact, those red markings are actually battle scars. Am I the only one who is reminded of Kratos when I see this thing? This is one mongoose cat ferret thingy you don't want to see in the wild.
Who's that Pokemon?
The resident time traveler of Johto, Celebi. Celebi is the spirit of the forest, and is responsible for keeping all plant life alive and plentiful with its healing touch. It's also able to time travel, which explains why it is rarely seen by trainers. If one was to obtain Celebi, it plays a healer/support role since it doesn't learn many good offensive moves. In both movies it appears in, it is often stolen the show from how damn adorable it can be. But as a kid, the scene where Celebi was slowly dying away and physically rotting kind of disturbed me. I mean, look at this. It even had a prominent role in Mystery Dungeon as a shiny no less. Celebi seems to be based on the typical forest fairy or dryad, mixed with a plant bulb, yet it still isn't a fairy type? Come on, Game Freak. I guess Celebi has been saved from her quad weakness to poison, but come on, it's literally a fairy.
Who's that Pokemon?
Corsula was a Pokemon I didn't think about twice. All I knew is that it existed and maybe Misty had one at some point. Then Generation 8 came along and gave it a new coat of paint and a brand new evolution, Corsula. Many may argue that its Galarian pre-evolution is better in battle. Yeah, and? It's the design I absolutely adore about this thing. No longer can I mock or forget about Corsula. Corsula carries a metric ton of thematical weight. This is the result of contamination and overhunting. Corsula is no longer the pink happy little rock we all remember. Now it's a bleached white husk of what it once was, a ghostly blob almost resembling ectoplasm. What makes Corsula even more disturbing is that it's all too real, and links to the real world tragedies in how we treat our oceans. In battle, the sorrow-fueled and vengeful spirit of Corsula resulted in some absurdly good special stats that can rival legendaries if handled properly. Its vast move pool also gives it astronomical coverage for almost any type you throw at it. All I can say is, take care of the coral reefs, people.
Who Who's that Pokemon?
Y'all like sugary desserts? Well, I do, and Alcremie is as sweet as they come. Alcremie is based on whipped cream, or Eton mess, a British dessert made of fruit, meringue, and whipped cream. And it even turns into a multi-story cake when G-maxed. Oh, and there are over 60 different designs you could pick from? Sure, they don't really change anything, but hot damn, 60? I'm sorry, but Alcremie is freaking adorable. I would never eat this thing. I would keep it as a pet and treat it as my own child. In battle, I often use it despite its stats being below average. Alcremie acts as support anyway, meaning it's only useful in doubles. Not much more can be said about Alcremie. It doesn't stand out in anything other than design, which is why it's safely placed at 85. Damn, now I'm hungry.
Who's that Pokemon?
Do you like army turrets? Do you like seafood? Well, someone at Game Freak certainly does, because Octillery is one of the most creative Pokemon I have ever seen. Basically, Octillery is a living turret, which also happens to be an octopus. He has a vast and diverse move pool. It can learn any move with the word beam in its name, and almost every projectile-esque attack, because it's a turret. It is also one of the only Pokemon to learn Octazooka, which is a fantastic name for a move. I really wanted it to get a Mega that turns into a full-on tank, but that never happened. Octillery may also be a reference to Octoroks from Zelda, but that's just a theory. A game theory.
Who's that Pokemon?
I'm sorry, but I really don't like Dragonite. In my opinion, it ruined what Dratini and Dragonair had going on. The beautiful Serpentine Dragonair becoming this Barney wannabe really upsets me. However, I really like Dragonair. While its stats aren't very good due to not being fully evolved, I can still appreciate what else it has. In terms of design, as previously mentioned, it's a Serpentine dragon creature. I really like the shade of blue they chose. I can imagine Dragonair around a picturesque lake by a waterfall. The pearl below its chin gives a mystical vibe. Like, what is that pearl and why does it have it? The wings on its head references the Greek god Hermes, but also has me hoping that its evolution would sprout beautiful angelic wings, and it would finally be able to fly. Well, it has wings.
Who's that Pokemon?
I love dinosaurs, particularly ones with long necks, such as the sauropod. Ice is also a type I like a lot, so when I saw Auroras from the first time, I was in awe. It's just so gorgeous. The two large flowing sails extending from the top of its head, the bright blue eyes and those shimmering crystals spread around its body. I like it. In battle it's just okay, nothing really stands out. It however has a surprising amount of type coverage, learning electric, psychic and even dragon type moves. It even has an entirely unique type combination, being rock and ice. It's much more pleasing to the eye than Tyrantrum, even if it's arguably worse to use. It still is always my fossil of choice in Generation 6.
Who's that Pokemon?
Continuing with the dinosaur theme, swooping down into number 81 is the prehistoric Aerodactyl. How can such a simple design be so effective? Short and sweet, it's a pterodactyl. For being one of the easiest fossils to obtain, it's a really good one. It has high speed and attack with potential to sweep, but it's a glass cannon since its defenses aren't too great. My personal favourite is teaching it Stone Edge, Earthquake, Pursuits and Roost for an effective physical sweeper, but it can also be used to set up Stealth Rocks. Its Mega Evolution helps enhance its already good stats, but in terms of design it's doing nothing for me. Simply adding a few rocks to Aerodactyl isn't enough to make it look cooler if you ask me. Many may choose Lord Helix, but I will always choose Aerodactyl as my high flyer.